Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Hunter Loves Voiceplay podcast. You're probably going to hear my stomach growling because I haven't eaten yet, and you're probably hearing the washer in the background right now because I'm still doing laundry. Once I edit this will probably be a little bit better for you. Yeah, let's get into it. This one is the Little Mermaid medley, another Lane arrangement. The video is absolutely bonkers, and, it may take a while for me to talk about this video because it just has everything in it. It is so good. The arrangement is crazy, because it's a very long medley, don't get me wrong, because it fits into about, I think it's around 7 minutes, roughly, and, that is a lot for for a medley, especially for some of the classic songs that are from the movie. And we have the wonderful and amazing Rachel Potter on this one. And she is amazing as Ariel. Absolutely love her as Ariel. She is basically a siren in this one. Like, she just has a lot of character in her voice and also just in her performance as well. She just brings the character to life, and I love that. I think under Lane's direction that works fairly well because, Lane has done the thing with, when it comes to princesses, and especially with Ariel, because he has some background with that, because if you've watched Princess Academy, you'll know. Go check out Patty Cake Productions. They're doing some amazing, amazing stuff over there. So with this one, we start off, just like that flute entrance, like while you're watching the movie, you're kind of placed there. And we get some wonderful harmony at the beginning going on there from Jay and Ellie. And then, Ellie kind of gets us started and walking into it. Cause he's got like the first line of, he has the first line. Jeff's bass line is in the back, and it's, it's very swingy. Like, you just kind of, like, you're being rocked in a boat, basically, is kind of how I interpret that. And, so then, like, we get in, look out, lads, a mermaid be waiting for you in mysterious fathoms below. Oh my god, I was so flat. Sorry. And then it's interesting because they had the backing vocals is like fathoms below, low, and I kind of think like it is kind of that buccaneer kind of pirate, like just working on the ship type of thing, because that song is kind of like the sea shanty of the crew that's on the ship. So then we instantly get into Part of Your World, and Rachel just has her wonderful moments. I'm like, yes, that is good. And then of course we have like backing vocals from Jay and Ellie in the back, and it's just a beautiful complement of every part of this song, and not of this song, of this medley. I have to say medley because it's a group of them. Part of Your World is always classic, but also like the way that they kind of brought it in was that like they you just had to be like really quick with it, and like they just put it in there. Yeah, so it's like out of the sea, and like once she says out of the sea, like you're hearing the humming in the back from the boys in the back, and it's just like, oh, that's nice to the ears. I appreciate that. It's a nice little touch. And then she goes like part of that world, and then Jay comes in. Well, and Lane is always just so, I loved his vocal percussion for this, because like Moana, he brought in a whole bunch of I don't know what you call that, smacking of the cheeks. I don't know what you call it, but he brought in that element to it too. And then I think Jay put on his best, not typical Jamaican, not stereotypical Jamaican, but he did try to do his best Sebastian. And that was perfect casting too, because it was just like, he brought in like this R&B style too. Like, he always brings in R&B, but Yeah, he always puts his own little twist on the character, and I appreciated that. Yeah, because there's so many elements in this one that I have to talk about. Yeah, because like Jay has fun with his, and it's like at first I almost thought that it was gonna be like done after Jay's part, because I was like like before I knew the timestamp, I was like, this is where they're gonna end, right? Like that's just it. Like they're gonna bring in the two, like some of the best characters and just end it there, right? No. We did not do that. So, Jay has his moment and like you're dancing along to it, right? Because it's catchy as all get out. And then we go into the depths. We go right into Ursula's crazy cave skeletal thing. And you hear Jay and Ellie being the eels. And I'm like, ooh, that's creepy. That kind of just puts me on edge a little bit. And then we have Geoffsula. He is always going to be known to me as Geoffsula. He does a beautiful, beautiful performance of Geoffsula. If somebody was to sit down and ask me who my favorite gender bent Ursula was, I would send them a picture of Jeff as Ursula and be like, hey, argue with me on this. He is perfect. And I don't know how Lane got it in his head that he wanted Jeff to be completely blue from head to toe, but it works. I mean, I don't think he was like blue all the way from head to toe, just probably from like chest down or up, I guess. I mean, he's got the gray hair, he's got blue, he's got the green wristbands, which confused the hell out of me at first because I was like, okay, well, like, I'm like, are those, like, connected to the lighting cues, or is that, like just something that, is going to help with lighting cues? I was wrong. Lane eventually told us, or no, it wasn't Lane, it was Jeff. Jeff eventually told us that those were to represent, Flotsam and Jetsam. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense, but I didn't understand it, like, in the moment, I didn't understand it, because I just thought that it was, like, just an accessory, I guess. Like, I completely forgot that there were eels in that movie. Yeah, and Jeff just brings us into the depths, His voice is so, like, he just has, like, kind of a lightness to his voice at the beginning. Like, it's very soft, very pure, very relaxed. And it's like, because that's what he wants. He wants to be the villain. Like, he wants to kind of bring that trance. Like, he's working it, He's working Ursula's magic and being like, hey, everything's going to be okay. You just trust me. Well, like, I'll give you, like, what you want. But it's going to come at a price. So then we keep on going and we get to, like, poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need. The smile that he puts on in pain. Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing little touch there, character-wise, because it's like you already know that it's like they are already in pain because Ursula's not going to be giving them any sort of a happy ending. Because if you know who Ursula is, she's, very, very very tricky, very, like, hey, you make a deal with me and this is what you're gonna get. Yeah, like, Jeff's overall performance in this one is Geoffsula is just perfect. I probably have already said that before. But he knows how to work with the camera as far as it is for keeping focus. He's very good in focus. And if you want to look at very good focus, go check out him in Hollow of the Mountain King. Just exquisite. I mean, his vocal range is like all over the map in that specific part. Because he, is going from like this soft, walk right into it. Like you're just kind of like a fish. You're going right into the waves. And then it's like, you stop. Then there's a change in there because it's like, poor unfortunate souls in pain. And like you're going down, And then it's like, this one longing to be thinner, that one wants to get the... And it's like kind of like a smile into his voice kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, he just plays it perfectly. And then we get into like the kind of the second verse of it. And he's like, those poor unfortunate souls, so sad, so true. And like he's bringing more power into it. And the run that Ellie does in the background, you gotta catch up on that one. Because that one I missed so many times. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, whoa, hang on. And it's like, because like, I think like Lane wanted Jeff to be hypnotizing. Like he wanted Jeff to hypnotize the listener. And he does that. He does an amazing job of that. And then we get to kind of like, do I help them? Yes, I do. And then we stop. And he speaks a little bit, like he narrates a little bit. And it's like he does the whole, oh, but there is one more thing. We haven't discussed the subject of payment. And he goes with that little bit of a rasp on his voice when it comes to, I'm not asking much. Like, he's like, I'm not asking much. Like, it's like, I'm gonna cut you off. But it's like, I'm not asking much. I'm not asking a lot. And it's like, what I want from you is, and then we go down into the gravel of your voice. And he just brings it out perfectly. And then there's Rachel's, like, beautiful, beautiful high notes that are ethereal sounding in the back. And it's like, oh no, like, this is bad. This is the scary part, right? And then we get kind of into, like, this quicker part of it where it's like, well, if you want to cross a bridge, my sweet, because, like, which is good keeping traditional to the original, but we also kind of bring in a little bit more of this, like, kind of a quicker step to it. And then also, like, you hear also in the background, like, Jeff has done some of the backing vocals as well. And it's like, if you want to cross a bridge, my sweet, you gotta pay the toll. Take a gulp and take a breath and go ahead and sign that scroll. And, like, in the back, you're hearing, like, him going a lot deeper, which is, classic Jeff, right? And then he, gets into the flotsam jetsam, now I've got her, boys, the bosses, and he just, like, puts it upwards. He, puts it up, and then this is what I wasn't expecting. This moment was what got me the first time I listened to it, because I was like, wait, where in the heck did that come from? And we know Lane. He's known for putting Jeff in the basement. But for this one, no, he didn't put him in the basement. He kind of just let him go all over the map. Just kind of let him do whatever he wanted to do. And so then we get to, like, this poor unfortunate soul, because in the original, and hopefully I can do this without losing my voice here, but, because, like, Pat Carroll, who was amazing. She's a legend. R.I.P. girl. She's like, this poor unfortunate soul, and like she like just has that vibrato that just pushes it forward, right? But Jeff got to have a little bit of a rock tenor moment in there. This poor unfortunate soul. And I'm like, yes, because like, I don't feel like for me that it would be any more of a surprise, like if he just went down into the subharmonic. But eventually he does do that climb. Like he goes from, what was it, like a high D down into a low C or something like that? Low C. I forget. But it's like he just like does this beautiful slide. He said that 2 of them were separate tracks that were placed on top of each other. So he didn't do it all in one take. Like, he separated the 2. And then, if that wasn't interesting enough, then we get into the whole chant thing. Like, the whole Latin beluga, sofruga, come winds of the Caspian Sea. Ugh. He... superb. Just... like, I would have to describe it, like, kind of not as, I would have to say that it is kind of like vibrato for him, but it's also like, not to where he's completely operatic, because that's just not really where he's going with that, But it does give me that kind of like intention of it, that it's like he was trying to get to that point. And then we get hit with Sing, and it's low, it's powerful. And then we have Rachel doing the gorgeous, the gorgeous aerial voice that I cannot do no matter how hard I try. And even in the background with this one, like, it's, Jay is enjoying it, because it's kind of like hip-hoppy, kind of bop in the back. And because, like, all you hear is like, yeah. But it's like, because it's like, he's an eel. And it's like, Ursula is basically taking a voice. Like, she's doing what she has to do, right? And it's like, because it's Ursula. Yeah, like Jeff says, sing. And then he goes, keep singing. And I'm like, oh, my eardrums, they enjoyed that. Same with my cerebrum, tickles. And then, we have Rachel as Ariel doing the, like, see, I can't even do it. But of course my voice is getting ragged. So he steals her voice, and Jeff laughs. And that is just like the perfect moment right there. Cause it's like, I'm success. I am wonderful. And then it's like right at that moment, we go to Lane as the French chef. Chef Louis. Louis? I think it's Louis. And it's so funny because Jeff's expression in it's like, oh, I'm at the moment. I'm at my climax here. And then, what the hell? Like, it's just like, why? Why did you take my moment? And it's like, his like head very slowly drops down. Like, you had to steal my thunder. Why? And then Lane is a French chef. Oh my god. Like, he can play the French chef any day, and I would just be laughing my sides off. So yeah, it's always fun. It almost kind of shows a little bit of Lane's personality comes through in this one, because he's just absolutely nuts. Like, it's just like, with the cleaver, I hack them in two. And it's like, he looks at Jeff, and Jeff is like, what the fuck? Like, it's like, I'm a sea witch, man. You don't want to mess with me. But it's like, I'm terrified at the same time. So Lane has his moment. It's comedic timing is perfect, because it's like, I think if they had stayed any longer with Ursula, because Jeff's verse is like super long. I think it's the longest part in this whole entire thing. But of course, it's a long song. And I think a lot of people wanted Poor Unfortunate Souls. And then we get into Ellie, who comes in as a seagull. And Lane didn't tell him that was what he was going to be wearing. And it's absolutely hilarious. And then we have Ellie coming in doing his character as nothing is happening. And I'm like, oh my god. And then we get into Kiss the Girl. And Ellie has this beautiful baritone touch to his voice that I just absolutely love. It's super relaxed, super calm, and just gorgeous. And then he gets into, like, we just get into the song, and I'm thinking that was a perfect fit for Ellie as well, because, he's tenor, he's baritone, and like, romantic is always good for him. Like, he just always sounds good in a romantic piece of any sort of caliber. He just does so well. But then also, like, once it starts to pick up a little bit more, and Kiss the Girl, which I don't know if you know, but they also used that in the Moana medley. They used the melody for Kiss the Girl in Moana. So, go back to Moana and check that one out and see if you can find that little Easter egg. I love Easter eggs. I love it. Speaking of Easter, I just had Easter eggs, but yeah, I'm getting off topic. So then Ellie comes in and we get into, I think, like the second line of it, or like just kind of close to the end. And you hear him screeching like the frickin' seagull. And I laugh so hard every single time I hear that. It's just like, Ellie had more fun with this than I think he was going to give himself credit for, because he always tries to be kind of the serious type of guy, but he's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, it's like, la music play, do what the music say. And then it's like, we just kind of like drop off to the end, slowly, we're just going for the ride, we're relaxed. And then Lane comes in with the percussion again. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. And then there's this complete transition. And then we're into Rachel as Vanessa. And oh my God, she brings that grit and that growl to her voice that, of course, Jodie Benson did manage to do because she voiced Vanessa as well as Ariel in the movie. And I'm like, that is amazing. Like, not only because Rachel also played Ariel on Broadway, so she already had that background information. So it was perfect picking her, like, casting her as Ariel. And then, like, we get into that moment of, like, where she's at the mirror, and she's like, soon I'll have that little mermaid and the ocean will be mine. And, like, evil laugh. We turn to Jeff. And which kind of scared the crap out of me the first time because I was like, oh, I'm like, we're going to have that transition because it's like, I know the movie, I see it, like I know the scene that's coming up. Switch to Jeff, he's laughing, and then it's like we get back to him and it's like, he already has that spell, like how Eric is when he's hypnotized. And then it's like shell breaks and then no! And it's like, oh no, he's dead. Like, it's like, oh crap, like, Ursula is dead. And I love that, because Jeff held it for that split second as the light changes, because it's like, he's dead. And then the light changes, and he's alive again. And he, like, moves. And then it's like, we tie it up, and we're getting into part of your world again. Oh, well, also going back to Kiss the Girl here real quick. Jeff also says, sing it with me now. And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's Jeff. So, and then I initially thought that he had repeated it. No, he did not. He said, it was said again, but this time it was Jay. And I'm like, wait, what? And then it's like, Jeff's expression when it comes to the bubbles in the video always cracks me up. Because he's like, it's just like, what the frick? Bubbles? Like, who thought of bubbles would be a good idea? Like, and I have to go back real quick. I have to go back to Under the Sea, because there is a bunch of animation that works so well right there. And Jay is a snail, because there's snails in the movie, obviously. And oh my God, it's so much hilarity that happens with that. Like, there's so many elements that I probably haven't talked about, but oh my God, there's so much animation. Yeah, and well, I guess Ellie is Flounder. Yes, that reminds me. He's Flounder. So we have Jay as Sebastian, Rachel as Ariel, Ellie as Flounder, Lane as the chef, and Jeff as Geoffsula. It was just a beautiful, beautiful production, and we get back into part of your world at the end, and oh my God, Rachel does this incredible. I don't know how to subscribe it, but she hits a note in there that's just like, wait, what is happening right now? Like, it's just, oh, her voice is just beautiful for this piece. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Then we end it on part of your world, because it's like, everything's happy, everything's good, the witch is dead, we're back, we're happy, she's got the man of her dreams, we saved Prince Eric somehow, and whatever. And then so we end, and then just when you thought it was all over, there's a pause, and then you hear Jeff say, pathetic. And it's like, oh, there was that tickle again. And then at the end of this one is interesting, because they actually had a kind of a remix version of Poor Unfortunate Souls. And it's like, okay, that thing cooks. That is fun. I'll put a link in the description for that one. But yeah, it's super fun. And go watch the video for yourselves. If you're not laughing and your stomach isn't hurting by the end of all of it, it's amazing. It's just amazing. And I think even in Under the Sea, Jeff gets this little moment to play an underwater invisible bass, and it cracks me up so much. But yeah, Jeff was a huge trooper for getting himself painted head to toe. He's our favorite blue guy in the room, let me tell you. He was a trooper. So much for that. And Rick Underwood again. Amazing makeup for that reason. I just kind of want to wonder how Lane had approached that. How he just managed to come up to Jeff and say, hey, you want to be blue? Then Jeff probably just to say, you asshole. Okay, let me get into the chair. But yeah, amazing, amazing work. Amazing song. I had it on repeat for, ever. And I gotta go back and listen to it again because it's so catchy. It's long, but it's catchy. So, this episode is going to be long too because it's like, there's so much to talk about. And I think I've talked about most of it. So yeah, thanks again, guys, for watching. I will leave links in the description. Go support Voiceplay on Patreon. It's people like us who make those videos possible for them. Even if it's $1 a month, it's not a lot, but it means the world to them. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Nothing is happening!